Welcome, sailors! In today's episode, we'll introduce you to the islands of Zadar archipelago. We have tested a fantastic motorboat, M46, envisioned as a speedboat for medical emergencies and for a much broader military usage. We're visiting beautiful city of Zadar, where we'll explore the most famous sites and one very special museum. Stay with us! The island of Premuda is also an attractive destination for sailors and divers. There are many wondrous diving locations nearby, such as the popular cathedral, a system of caves that captivates with its beauty. The shipwreck Szent István is available only for the most experienced divers. We are wrapping our sailing through Zadar archipelago with a visit to its largest island, the island of Olib. Among sailors, Olib is best known for its numerous sandy bays, which provide fantastic possibilities for swimming and safe anchoring. But it's still necessary to check your sonar, since the sea is in some places very shallow. Olib is also the largest settlement on the island, and there's a safe harbour with berths and moorings. Larger ships as well as catamaran fit on the pier, but do be careful where you bind your boat. Olib settlement was mentioned back in the time of antique Greece and Roman Empire. A defense fortress, Castel, was built in 16th century as a protection from pirate attacks. Interestingly, at the parsonage there are old church books dating back to 1565, which makes them the oldest population registers in Croatia. Back in the day, the island had around 1,500 inhabitants. Today, that number has fallen to mere 150. The island is connected to Zadar by daily ferryboat rides and catamaran. Apart from being connected to Zadar, Malilošin and nearby islands of Silba and Premuda are just a ferry trip away. In one of the previous episodes, we visited the Brodarski Institute in Zagreb, an institute of applied technical sciences in the fields of maritime and green technologies, and met with their research and test facilities. We managed to catch a speedy motorboat, M46, which is just at the stage of final testing in the sea. The motorboat M46 is a high-speed interceptor of the latest generation. The hull's so-called step hull, with a novelty of a stern tooth, or edge, which smartly regulates the tilt of the front part of the boat, meant for shock actions of exclusively special forces of the Navy, special squads and anti-terrorism forces, special police forces, on the broad coastal region to 400 nautical miles, tactical operations of 250 miles. The hull of the boat is produced with the use of the latest technologies and with best possible materials in regards of resistance known in the world nowadays. The use of new technology and the construction of the very project enabled the manufacture of a light hull with incredible high carrying capacity, high speed and a strong gunfire support, and only 45% radar visibility at sea conditions fore and up that may not be compared with any other boat of that sort. The fuel economy of M46 is also superior because it can reach more than 500 nautical miles at speed of 40 knots. For the speed over 50 knots, for which the boat is meant for, special care was taken about the choice of seats, due to the high accelerations to body of the persons who are on the boat. Seats are tested to hold 7 Gs. Because of the unique design of V-hull and technology, step-hull boat can easily achieve over 55 knots. We tested it on waves of 2 and 2.5 meters while speeding easily 40 knots. ACI Marina has 475 berths and can accommodate mega yachts of up to 40 meters in length. For 14 years now, this marina has been able to pride itself for its blue flag, guarantor of flawless purity and cutting-edge equipment. For the most demanding repairs, there is a repair shop and a travel lift that can lift up to 100 tons. Guests of the marina have the use of the restaurant, grocery shops, nautical gear and clothes shops and a beauty salon. Sanitary facilities with a separate section for the disabled are very neat and nicely decorated, and the guests will appreciate the laundry service. All guests have wireless internet access as well as the parking. Within the marina, there's also a gas station, so we can say the service is complete. We have arrived to the very middle of Croatian coast and the biggest city of northern Dalmatia, the city of Zadar. Wider surroundings of Zadar were inhabited since ancient times. In 9th century BC, there was a settlement called Zadar, inhabited by the members of Illyrian tribe Liburnians. In the middle of the 2nd century, Zadar area was conquered by the Romans, who named their new colony Colonia Julia Zadar, that is to say, a colony of Roman citizens. It is believed that the colony was founded by Julius Caesar himself. Zadar was a town arranged by the strict rules of Roman urbanism, with a network of straight-flowing streets and rectangular blocks with a central square or the forum. The city was protected by high walls and towers in several places. It had a public water supply with water coming in from 40 kilometers away, Vrana Lake. Remains of sewage were found, as well as wellness spas and other buildings characteristic of developed Roman cities. Narodni Trg, or People's Square, was formed in the Middle Ages as a Platea Magna, or the Big Square, as a center of secular life of Zadar and the center of the city's administration, with the town hall as the most dominant building. At the square there's the city loggia, put up back in 13th century as a place for public political and legal conferences, and within it were kept and preserved township's measures for length, weight and volume. The current building is the artistic center of Zadar. On the opposite side is the city guard. In 18th century, the large central clock tower was erected. The bigger bell, which marks the hours, was brought over from the captain's tower, Bovo di Antona, and the smaller one, which marks every quarter of the hour, was brought from the neighboring church of St. Lovro. In the area in front of the captain's tower and the city walls, there was a deep defense moat there, until the 16th century. Today, this is the Five Wells Square, one of numerous and very frequently visited sites which enrich Zadar's already abundant tourist value. The most famous street in Zadar is certainly Cale Larga. To Zadar locals, Cale Larga is an iconic symbol of the city, that stirs memories of beautiful moments and events, as a place for socializing, entertainment and recreation, processions and folk ceremonies, and first loves. The Church of St. Donat is a prominent symbol of the city. Bishop Donat had it built in the 9th century, and so the church was named after him. It was built on the ruins of the old Roman Forum, and many remains from Roman times were found within the walls, which were later on incorporated in the building. The Cathedral of St. Stosia is the largest church in all of Dalmatia, and it was built on 2 occasions, in 12th and 13th century. Zadar's Bishop Donat had the sarcophagus made, which now keeps the remains of St. Stosia and is kept in the cathedral on the altar in the northern apse. One of the most interesting markets in the Adriatic is this one in Zadar. Here you can find fresh fruit and vegetables organically grown from around Zadar area. Superb homemade schnapps, liqueurs, olive oils and other delicacies will surely find their way to your table and your heart. The most attractive is surely the fish market. Plentiful in its offer of fish and seafood produce, this is where most of restaurants on Croatian coast come to buy. Since this is where the real connoisseurs come for their supply, you will really find the freshest, best quality fish. Everyone is sure to find something to their liking. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, be sure enough that an illusion hides more than 1,000,000. Enter the fascinating world of illusion, which will trick your confidence and senses, but amaze you by doing it. The world that will confuse you completely, but also educate you. Be brave enough to jump in an illusion created by the Vortex Tunnel. Vortex will drive you crazy and make you believe you're heavily struggling just to make a step forward through a rotating cylinder on a surface so stable and flat. Deform the image of yourself in a mirror room. Let yourself free in an infinity room. Resist the laws of gravity and size ratio. And make pictures of yourself in every possible pose. Amusing and awesome tricks will teach you about vision, perception, the human brain and science. So it will be easier to perceive why your eyes see things which your brain cannot understand. After terrific fun at the Museum of Illusions, it's time for a break and a refreshment. In a beautifully decorated restaurant on the peninsula, we found exactly what we were looking for: original and indigenous dishes of Zadar region. We tasted some interesting dishes and specialties. Marinated octopus and marinated shrimp with sprouts and carrot puree. Sea bass carpaccio with black truffles from Zadar hinterland. Octopus carpaccio and an interesting combination of tuna steak tartare with wasabi sauce. We were especially impressed with risotto with beef fillet and black truffles. Apart from Istria, which is the most popular region in Croatia for truffles, excellent truffles grow also in the Zadar hinterland. We loved the beautiful setting and completely delectable dishes, all one tastier than the other. The sea organ is completely unique and one of a kind in the world, and you must experience this wonder and enjoy the sounds it produces thanks to the waves and tides. Concrete steps are divided into 7 sections. During the time of the lowest tide, 35 pipes of different length, diameter and inclination were inserted under the steps. The sea suppresses the air, which is pushed through the pipes, producing sounds. The musical pipes are located so that the seawater and wind movements produce musical sounds that are heard by passers-by, so that it achieves a communication with nature and promotes a unity of architecture and environment. On the very top of the peninsula is another fantastic attraction, the Greeting to the Sun. This circular plateau consists of 300 multi-layered glass plates installed at the same level as the stone paving of the quay, in the shape of a circle 22 meters in diameter. It is conceived as a spatial installation in the shape of an amphitheater, surrounded by stone blocks with a presentation of all solar system planets and their orbits. According to the famous Alfred Hitchcock, this part of the Zadar quay provides a view of the most beautiful sunset in the world. And while this installation gives the most beautiful and colorful experience for the site, with nearby sounds of the sea organ, we must say we agree with Mr. Hitchcock completely. ACI Marina Ravni lies in the south and east part of the harbour, offering the most beautiful view of Ravni. Surrounded by pine trees, with the city centre a mere 1 kilometre away, docked boats are able to swing peacefully on the eternal calm, because the island of Sveta Katarina provides ideal protection from winds for the marina. The marina is open year-round. The marina has 422 berths and 40 boat places on land. All berths have water and power supply. All that's needed for an enjoyable and carefree sailing can be bought at food stores and shops with nautical equipment. We would like to especially recommend the excellent Skipper Bar that offers fantastic breakfast and great waffles. People with disabilities have a separate part available for them within the sanitary facilities. Repair shop and a crane that can lift up to 10 tons are available for boat service. Gas station is only 300 meters away. We must emphasize that this marina is going through thorough reconstruction and modernization, and the next time you see it, it will look completely different, perfectly blended in the surrounding of nearby 5-star hotels.